This is Energy Perspectives. Welcome. I am Tony Abodo. On this program, we look at energy matters as it affects us in Nigeria, as well as energy issues that impact us in Nigeria. And of course, we look at whether it's electrical energy, it's oil and gas, as well as renewable energy. Join us and enjoy the conversations. Hello, this is Energy Day Perspectives. Welcome. I'm Tony Abolo. Last week we spent some time busting some myths that the white man has sold to us, and we held some interesting conversation with Professor Onaiwu of the Department of Petroleum Engineering, University of Benin. For this week, he will be joined by one of his colleagues in the Department of Petroleum Engineering. He's Associate Professor, Engineer Dr. Onaiwu. But first, a recap from last week. And it's important to do this recap so we can set the template for today. The issue of the abuse of ozone layer started with the cutting down of trees in the West, whether it's London, New York, Moscow, the so-called developed world. And that created the issue that we're talking about, the depletion of the ozone layer. And now the Oyibo man is having a rethink, and that's why he's moving into the forest of the DRC and also in the Amazon forest. And now if we may ask, should we as the developing South not discover our own strategy for development?
Okay. Thank you very much. If we look at the current policy today, it is not meeting what we believe is supposed to be in place. Take a look at Qatar, for instance, a very small country, part of Saudi. They had a civil war some years back where they wanted to become a country of their own. They thought they had oil like Saudi until when they splitted, they found that they had gas. They could have tried to go the other way. They are disappointed they didn't get enough, they didn't get oil like the Saudis. Instead, when they got their gas, they decided to sit down and look at the value chain of the gas. They developed the total value chain of the gas. That today, Qatar, in terms of GDP, they are among the first three in the world. The country is super rich. The World Cup is going to Qatar. And you know some of their stadiums, the way they developed it, after the World Cup they can couple it and then send to you because of the money they made from gas. Right policies. They were able to develop their gas, and today they have everything. Coming to Nigeria, we can also do the same. We have the intellectuals, people like our Prof that has spoken much earlier. There are other professors of petroleum engineering, but we have a situation where we have a government that puts square peg in a round hole. And as a result, the gas policy, the oil policy that we have in the country today is now we're talking about PIB. So we find a situation where the policy that would have been there years back, we are far from it. Look at terms of gas.
Yeah, because we are said to be in fact, a more gas country,
yes,
than a petroleum country.
Than oil.
Than
oil.
Yes.
So what went wrong?
Okay, good. The way I explained the Qatari model, if we adopted that, look at both for domestic market and international market. But in Nigeria, when we started the gas business, we started with the LNG for exports, leaving behind the domestic market. You have what you call the gas monetization. You can convert gas to liquid, which is a GTL. You can convert gas to compressed natural gas for your car, LPG, cooking gas, just to mention a few.
Yeah.
As we speak today, the price of cooking gas is at the top, and government doesn't know what to do. This is a country where you have a lot of gas. If we developed the local market alongside the international market, the gas policy would have brought a situation where we're so rich, get more money even than the oil, I meant to understand that a country like Togo, not up to the size of Lagos, the level of gas utilization in Togo is more than the whole of Nigeria as a country. So if we were to just adopt a policy where gas is available to everybody at an affordable price, everybody uses gas, we will make so much money from that gas and we'll be richer for it. Instead, we stay with only the LNG component. Yes, we are making money from LNG, but we have made a lot of money. CNG plant today, there are just only 3 CNG stations in Benin.
In Benin,
They are the Aziz.
Yeah.
At Saple Road, Igbobayi, and Olukuye.
There's one in second anyway.
Okay, maybe second. But you have a lot of petrol stations.
Yeah. On a comparative basis.
Comparative basis. So if we decide to develop CNG with a lot of cars that we have, they're running on gas. A lot of money for the government. So this country is supposed to be poor. We're supposed to be borrowing from China, from anybody, if we had the right policy in gas and in the petroleum sector. The PIB they are talking about now, they did it 15 years ago, would have perfected the whole idea of the PIB, and we're able to make get what we call the hydrocarbon value chain across. Here you take, we are still bringing oil with imports.
And even importing gas.
But you take importing gas. You take oil from here, a barrel of oil from here. You take it, they refine it over there. The only component they bring to you is just the fuel. What about the other ones? You will not start paying them. The value chain, what other component that comes from that 1 barrel? Where's the money?
Lost.
Given to the country. They are getting richer. I listened to the Tanzania High Commissioner recently. Then in Tanzania, the policy is that they will not take any of their raw material and sell to the outside world. Instead, they would only sell finished product from Tanzania to the outside world. That means they take their raw material, process it, get the value chain of their raw material, so that they have all the industries that can come from each of those sub and make the country rich. Only the finished one goes. But here in Nigeria, we'll take the raw material and send it.
Associate Professor Engineer Odua, that despite the annual professional conferences people like you and so many others have been having, the government is slow in buying into the wonderful ideas and deliberations coming out from those conferences. And they don't seem to follow through on your policy recommendations. Are you not talking loud enough? You're not putting pressure on policymakers?
We are talking. We are talking.
Then what's happening?
The politicians are not listening, because as we speak, I thought somebody said, why are we not making investments in the area of gas? It is because our politicians are so comfortable with the amount they make from oil. So they feel that that is enough. So instead of taking such money, invest it in new gas business, which maybe over 5-10 years time to start making return on investment, they see that that is not profitable. Instead, let us just stick with taking the oil and keep using it. We are talking about, I just explained some of the value chain we can get. A right government will sit down and say, oh, let us listen to them. Let us invest money. Okay, you are borrowing money to do railway, to do to that things. Over time, they will start decaying. But if you take that money and say, let us develop our
natural resources.
We don't want to take any raw material away from Nigeria. We want to do everything, finished product. They will export our finished product. It will be multiply effects. More money coming from there. We can start building a railway line and other things. But instead, we are investing in assets that in 10-15 years time, those locomotives that they bought
will break down.
Pack up. And they're going to take another one.
And even those coaches, they've been breaking down. Even within 2 years.
They are breaking up. And the Chinese government said they can't give explanation why they are breaking up. Because these same locomotives are working fine.
Well, on that whimper note from Associate Professor Engineer Onaiwu Udua, we end our show for today and hope that someone out there is listening and is hoping that tomorrow, that famous tomorrow, that change can begin, and make valuable policy concept notes. And therefore, that will begin to grow the Nigerian national economy. And we hope that you have listened and watched. I've also learned one or two things, and we've been able to throw some light along the way on today's energy perspectives. Thanks for being our guest. I'm Tony Abodo. This is Energy Perspectives. Welcome. I am Tony Abodo. On this program, we look at energy matters as it affects us in Nigeria, as well as energy issues that impact us in Nigeria. And of course, we look at whether it's electrical energy, it's oil and gas, as well as renewable energy. Join us and enjoy the conversations.